You want me to put that on my Tudor?
This one's wife. The Ghoul returns. This time, it's the Southport tragedy. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. There's a member of my family who has earned the nickname Death Watch Beetle as a consequence of this particular person's ability to learn that somebody has died, and that they announce that death with a mixture of elation and also faux upset. Sometimes it relates to a famous person, but more usually it relates to a friend or family member that they have learned of their demise, usually and strangely ahead of anybody else, or more realistically, others may know about it but don't see that there's anything to be gained by circulating news of this person's death in the manner of the Death Watch Beetle. It won't surprise you to learn that Death Watch Beetle is a narcissist, and she revels in being the bearer of this bad news because it enables her to elicit a response from people, that she is the one who knows, that she's sharing this knowledge, and people's reactions of shock, dismay, expected grief, she feeds off. She has prompted that response. Although their reaction is related to the person's death, her narcissism causes her to commandeer that, because she is the bearer of the bad news, and thus as messenger, her narcissism sees that she is the one that therefore has prompted the reaction in the individual, which demonstrates the arrogance of her narcissism as well. The person's response is actually to the loss of the individual, not specifically the news itself, but Death Watch Beetle's response is about feeding off the emotions that are exhibited when she tells them that a particular person has died. As I've told you before, the narcissist is the corpse at every funeral, and where tragedy occurs, certain narcissists are not far behind, reveling in the opportunity to make it all about them, whether it's playing the hero in relation to some disastrous circumstances so they gain people's appreciation, running around checking with false compassion that people are all right, or simply engaging in their own wailing and whinging about what has happened so that people offer them sympathy. The narcissist hijacks the tragedy that has occurred and makes it all about them. We've seen this previously with this one's wife. The most notable example of it was Uvaldi, a place with which she has no connection, but her narcissism told her that she attended as a mum, that the facade that she utilises of being a caring, involved mother caused her to believe that it was appropriate for her to go to Uvaldi, walk amongst the memorial with the film crew and photographer in tow, attempt to pass off some stale sandwiches, try to enter buildings that she was not invited to nor entitled to go, and gather some footage. She was roundly and rightly disapproved of in relation to that conduct, and thus was christened the Ghoul of Uvaldi, utilising the tragedy of the deaths of children for the purposes of her own pursuit of the prime aims. As you know, she does not do so consciously. She thinks that she cares, but since we know that she is a narcissist, we know that she can't care. She's incapable of caring. She has no emotional empathy. She just is led to believe that she cares, and her narcissism does so to compel her to manage her facade, to draw fuel from people's reactions of her supposedly being this caring duchess, and enables her to control. She's at it again. Undoubtedly you will have heard about the tragedy that has taken place in Southport in the north-west of England, where an individual massacred children with a knife, stabbing them and certain adults that sought to protect them, resulting so far in the death of 3 of those children, many others critically injured. A suspect has been arrested and today has appeared in court. Naturally, Such an horrific tragedy has resulted in a mixture of reactions, with people expressing their shock at what has happened, their condolences to those who were affected by the deaths of the children, a wish for a speedy recovery for those that have been injured, and it has led to a wider reaction from certain sections of the community and the country in relation to issues of immigration criminality. This isn't the place to go into those aspects further, as I'm discussing narcissism. Naturally, many people have condemned the activity and spoken about their shock and hurt. Prominent individuals such as the King, the Prime Minister, certain sports people, Robbie Fowler and Phil Thompson, had turned up to lay a wreath, both of them former Liverpool footballers. The Prince and Princess of Wales have expressed their concern at what has occurred and their sympathies. And so has this one's wife. As reported by the enigmatic web desk reporting for the international news, Prince Harry, this one's wife, devastated after a heinous incident. Prince Harry and this one's wife are said to be heartbroken over a deadly knife attack at a children's dance workshop in the United Kingdom that left 2 children dead and 9 other people injured. The 17-year-old attacked a Taylor Swift-themed dance and yoga event for children aged about 6 to 11 in Southport, England. Harry and this one's wife are devastated and in great pain over the tragic incident in the United Kingdom, sources close to the couple have claimed. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex, who feel unsafe in Britain without police protection, have not publicly shared any statement on the barbaric attack on children. However, an insider has revealed the reaction of Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet's parents, saying they seem to be in great shock and concerned about the families and that they've lost their loved ones. On the other hand, Prince William and Kate Middleton have also sent love and prayers to the families who have lost their loved ones. King Charles and Queen Camilla have also issued a statement to condemn Monday's horrific incident. In order to be balanced, it's important to point out that no statement has actually been released by the Sussexes, and instead, this is news which apparently has come from their household as a consequence of the reaction. Given this one's wife's need for her narcissism to flex itself, it would not be inconceivable that rather than issue a statement where she may well be criticised for gaining some form of leverage out of the event, but rather it's been leaked that she is horrified and heartbroken instead. Thus, it can be denied that there was any specific attempt to gain leverage out of the event, and say this is what's been reported by other people, whilst at the same time being able to garner a response of appreciation from certain sections of the community to note, look, they care, they're heartbroken. It is simply the case that when it comes to this one's wife and making statements, whether directly or indirectly, she's going to be damned one way or the other. If she says nothing, there will be those that will criticise her for saying nothing, labelling her heartless. If she does say something, there will be those that will criticise her because she has said something, because they will see that her reaction is as a consequence of utilising the tragedy for her own advantage. Whilst she doesn't think in such terms, that is precisely what she does. As a narcissist, she has no emotional empathy. She does not care for anybody other than herself. She pursues the prime aims, driven there by a host of responses, thoughts, and feelings generated by her narcissism. She is not heartbroken. She is not upset. She does not feel great pain. The fact is that those sentiments have been conveyed, most likely leaked, for the purposes of making her seem like she cares, and are part of the facade management, and once again, demonstrative of the fact that her particular brand of narcissism is such that it cannot resist the opportunity to piggyback a tragedy such as the death of children in such horrific circumstances. She would be better saying nothing at all, leaking no information at all. True, there would still be those that would criticise her for saying nothing, but ultimately, that would be seen as less disgusting compared to piggybacking tragedy in order to make herself look good. Her defenders will say, this is an expected reaction, she cares, but they don't understand that she is a narcissist, and what that means is, although she doesn't realise it herself, her actions are driven not because she's heartbroken, not because she's in great pain. Indeed, we don't need to know how she's feeling. It would be far more effective, of course, to talk about how others are affected by what has happened. But typically with this one's wife, it's all about her. As you'll note in many of the speeches that she gives, she doesn't talk about particularly the event or the circumstances of it. It all relates to what she's done at the event, what she thinks about it, what she's been doing. Take, for instance, the infamous and most boring speech that she gave to One Young World in September 2022, where she talked about herself, I think mentioning her own person some 57 times in 7 minutes. She didn't talk about the aims of the event. She didn't talk about the other people particularly that were there. It was all about her experiences, what she had done, what it meant to her. And once again, you see this with this leaked information, which talks about her being heartbroken, that she is devastated and in great pain. How do you think the parents of the children feel? Rather than her having it leaked that she feels heartbroken, devastated, and in great pain, it surely would have been far more effective to suggest one cannot imagine the pain and suffering that the parents of those children who are both injured or dead are feeling. To talk about their circumstances. But as always, as the narcissist that she is, it has to be how she feels. She doesn't realise she's doing this, but to those of you that are educated by my work, it stands out a mile. Once again, a tragedy occurs. This one's wife, albeit not directly, makes it known that she's heartbroken, devastated, and in great pain in order to manage her facade, in order to draw a reaction from people, to make it seem like she actually cares. But as a narcissist, she does not. In fact, her narcissism, having no moral compass, seeks to utilise a tragedy, one involving the deaths and injury of children in innocent circumstances at a dance class, enjoying their summer holidays, finding themselves murdered and brutally attacked. But this one's wife's narcissism sees nothing wrong with utilising that. This one's wife deems that it is appropriate to speak about it, albeit the information being leaked. And once again, if you were in doubt as to the extent to which this one's wife's narcissism will plunge for the purpose of seeking the prime aims, you have yet another example of how it simply doesn't care about anybody other than her, and that anything will be used in order to make her look good. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.